One key concept, and this is what we'll talk about a lot in terms of how to properly model risk, we look at the idea of uncertainty and external risk or risk events. When I say external risk, I'm looking at something external to the schedule, external to the scope of activities that we actually put in the schedule. When I look at uncertainty, I'm saying, you know what, we put that in the schedule, and we put it at a certain duration or cost, but there's some variability around it. So if I said, hey, you know what, we're going to demo a building. We put it in at 20 days, but we know it's 15 to 25 days. Or like my drive to work. I said, you know what, I think it's about 50 minutes, but it's really 45 minutes to an hour. That's my uncertainty to the work. Now, there may be a lot of little risk events. I could model in every stop sign or stoplight as a risk event. But normally that's my uncertainty. It's all those little risks that really go into like a productivity factor, a little fudge factor in the work. When you're looking at risk events or external risks, that's normally what's in your risk register. And a key indicator as to whether it's a risk event is, can you put a % chance of occurrence to it? If I say we're demoing a building, what's the chance we're demoing that building? No, it's 100%. We scheduled that work. We're doing the work. It's 100%. There's some variability on the duration, though. When I look at something like a permitting issue, or, hey, we found asbestos in the building and we're going to have to do all sorts of, that would be a risk event, something I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We didn't plan for that. You know, we planned for the permit to go through on time. But now as we're going through, we realize, oh, there's a 30% chance that permit doesn't come through and there's a month delay. That's my risk event. I can put a probability on that. And because I can put a probability on that, what it does statistically, it just becomes part of my schedule. It's just like an activity. That building, that permitting issue, it's a 30-day activity. But when I run simulations, that activity realizes, oh, I only happen 30% of the time. So when I run that simulation 1,000 times, it'll take into account 30% of the time that ran. So I'll be able to see the impact that risk had on me, even though it didn't occur every time the schedule ran. Just so people can visualize what that actually does, if you see this green bar here, if my demolition was 15 to 25 days, it goes in that green point right there. That red area would be, oh, you know what? It's still going to take 15 to 25 days to demo the building. However, I may start at 30 days late. From a schedule point of view, if you're thinking in terms of what does the bars look like, I can put these finished to start. Maybe the permitting issue should be first here. But basically what I've got is, hey, the building demolition is 15 to 25 days. However, if the building demolition takes 25 days, the permit takes 30, the absolute maximum is 55 days. However, only 15 to 25 days is the actual work. The rest of that is risk event. And what you see normally in risk analyses is you'll see people say, oh, man, well, I'm not looking at external risk, the building demolition, I've got a bunch of gut feel risks, a permitting issue, all sorts of things. You know what? I know we could finish it in 15 days, but it could be as much as 55 days. So they put these huge spreads of risk on there. But because they didn't account for the probability of that risk, statistically they skew the model, and the data gets very corrupted because they haven't modeled the risk properly. Just to give you an idea what the charts of the two look like, on the left, using PerpMaster or Primavera Risk, I'm able to model those probabilities in. It's 15 to 25 days of work, so you get a bimodal spike there, one at 70% of the time, the other 30%. On the other one, if I say, well, it's 15 to 55 days, theoretical minimum and maximum are exactly the same. But the problem is you've skewed your data. So just because you've modeled risk incorrectly, at a 50% confidence level, you're already 11 days off. It's very hard to model risk properly in other tools because of that. This gives you the ability to statistically easily model it, but also correctly model it.